Following events for us incredibly closely is Edgar Jalad, who is the editor of BBC Arabic Television, and he is with me now. If we could dwell just for a moment on that reaction we've been getting in from around the world, what role is there today for the international community?
Definitely, the role of the international community is putting pressures on the government. What we have heard so far is really alarming for the government, and that means that they have to act quickly and otherwise they will have to face the international community. Turkey is calling for the Security Council. Qatar is also putting pressures, and we will hear more voices in the coming hours. So it seems that they gave the government some kind of some time to finish what they have already started, and but something should happen in a small lapse of time. It shouldn't take days now or weeks with these pictures on air.
Edgar, we have known for a number of days now that they were going to clear these sit-ins. Why has the Muslim Brotherhood taken a decision to confront the army and to confront the police?
Because they have no other choice. The other choice for them is to go back to prisons or to be just a small group inside the government or among other groups that are in the government. The Muslim Brotherhood that was established in 1928, they spent decades working in secrecy and or being banned or being in jails or arrested. So this was the first time when they took power, when Morsi came to power in 2012.
But they are saying hundreds of their members have been killed today. I mean, what do they expect the outcome of this to be, other than bloodshed?
Exactly. This is the kind of criticism that that is addressed to them, that you should be responsible toward your people, but this is not the way they think. Their concept is that if we can attract the international attention, and they think what Ashton has done and what the Senator McCain and Lindsay last week announced was enough for them, and international pressure could help them in having coming back to power again. But what Sisi or the other side, the government, is saying that no, there will be no comeback for the Muslim Brotherhood to power. For them, they have no other choices but to fight. And they are relying on the fact that by gathering families and women and children in Rabia al-Adawiyya, so the government will hesitate more in storming and trying to disperse them by using power, which was not the case.
There is some criticism on social media that the focus is too much on what is happening at Rabaa Mosque. Elsewhere, though, we are reporting there have been demonstrations, clashes with security forces. But also, Edgar, tell us about what we're seeing today in terms of the attacks on churches around the country.
This is very important, and I think this is the most dangerous bit, because this is when we can start talking about civil war. The government forces, they don't have the means or the capacity to secure all the churches or every single Copt in the country. And the Copts are around between 8 and 10 millions. So there is no way the government can provide security for these people if they decide, or the Muslim Brotherhood decide, to focus on them.
Civil war, though, Edgar, is a very strong, very emotive phrase. You're obviously not using it lightly.
No. No, I'm not using it lightly. And of course, this is not, we are not at this stage yet. But if the Muslim Brotherhood decides in the coming weeks or the coming days, if they lose this battle, the other alternative is to stage these kind of attacks, because this is how the government will be undermined, and this is how the government will be under international and internal pressure. And now, in few hours, it's not only the international position that is changing, it could be some other people inside who supported the government or endorsed the roadmap. They will start distancing themselves from what's happening. And we had a few hours ago that the top cleric in the country who was saying that we can't tolerate violence. So this was his first statement, distancing himself from what's happening.
You mentioned the roadmap, though, and that is not something that's been talked about much today because it does feel very distant. But that roadmap promised elections in 6 months' time. Is there anyone in Egypt today who thinks that that roadmap those elections, that sense that democracy can assert itself. Does anyone think that's going to happen?
Well, the roadmap, today the situation is different, but days ago or 30 days ago, the roadmap was endorsed by most figures, prominent figures in the country, like Al-Baradei, Amr Moussa, all these people, and even the Sheikh Al-Azhar, who is the top cleric person in the Muslim religion in Cairo. He endorsed this, and even the Christian patriarch also endorsed this. Now we will start seeing things changing if the situation will remain like that, and we will have these pictures for another 24 hours.
Before we let you go, Edgar, just tell us what we're seeing, what that strap says on these live pictures that we're getting in.
It seems that this is Nasr City. Nasr City is close to Rabi al-Adawiyya, and this confirms what the Muslim Brotherhood are saying, that some of their members, or hundreds of their members, are trying to go back to Rabi al-Adawiyya. So by seeing these pictures, we can at least say that, yes, there are some clashes between the pro-Morsi trying to get into Rabi al-Adawiyya, and they are confronted by police forces.
Edgar, thank you very much for joining us. I'll let you go back. I know you've got many other people to talk to and sources to talk to. Thank you very much for joining us here on Impact.